Hello
Hello
everyone,
everyone,
this is
this is
Dr.
Dr.
Janvi.
Janvi.
Today
Today,
I would
I
like
would
to
like to
discuss
discuss
about
about
coronavirus.
coronavirus.
You have
You have
all
all
heard
heard
about
about
SARS
SARS
virus
virus
in
in
2002
2002
and
and
it
it
was
was
originated
originated
in
in
Guangdong,
Guangdong,
China.
China.
Next,
Next,
you
you
have
have
heard
heard
about
about
Middle
Middle
East
East
respiratory
respiratory
syndrome
syndrome
caused by
caused by
MERS
MERS
virus.
virus.
Now,
Now,
in
in
December
December
2019,
2019,
31st of
31st of
December
December
2019,
2019,
one
one
more
more
novel
novel
coronavirus
coronavirus
has
has
begun.
begun.
Its
Its
name
name
is
is
SARS
SARS
coronavirus
coronavirus
2.
2.
Like it
Like
is
it is
having
having
final
final
genetically
genetically
similar
similar
structure
structure
with
with
SARS
SARS
CoV
CoV
virus,
virus,
which
which
was
was
originated
originated
in
in
Guangdong,
Guangdong,
China.
China.
All
All
these
these
viruses
viruses
which
which
I
I
talked
talked
about
about
have
have
crown
crown
like
like
structure,
structure,
hence
hence
the
the
name
name
coronavirus.
coronavirus.
Now,
Now,
you're
you're
seeing in
seeing
the
in the
picture
picture
coronavirus
coronavirus
structure.
structure.
The coronavirus
Coronavirus
structure
structure
is
is
having
having
one
one
single
single
stranded
stranded
RNA
RNA
and
and
it
it
is
is
covered
covered
by
by
lipid
lipid
bilayer.
bilayer.
Inside
Inside
its
its
lipid
lipid
bilayer,
bilayer,
there
there
is a
is a
membrane
membrane
glycoprotein.
glycoprotein.
It's
It's
indicated
indicated
with
with
the
the
letter
letter
M.
M.
Then
Then
around
around
it,
it,
there's
there's
an
an
envelope
envelope
and it
and
is
it is
known
known
as
as
envelope
envelope
glycoprotein.
glycoprotein.
And
And
there is
there
a
is a
spike
spike
protein.
protein.
The life cycle of SARS-CoV-2 in host cells begins its life cycle when S protein, that is spike protein, binds to the cellular receptor angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. After receptor binding, the conformation change in the S protein facilitates viral envelope fusion with the cell membrane through the endosomal pathway. Then SARS-CoV-2 releases RNA into the host cell. Genome RNA is translated into viral replicase polyproteins PP1A and 1AB, which are then cleaved into small products by viral proteinases. The polymerase produces a series of subgenomic mRNAs by discontinuous transcription and finally translated into the relevant viral proteins. Viral proteins and genome RNA are subsequently assembled into virions in the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi and then transported via vesicles and released out of the cell. So SARS-CoV-2 is phylogenetically and genomically similar to SARS-like bat virus. So the dotted arrow is like it's not completely sure. The research are still trying to find out. So here the primary host seems to be bat. The bats, when they are consumed as food, like Wuhan China people have taken as bats as a food, so it's happened to be direct contact. So the virus has entered the human body and started to replicate and infected the other humans. So human to human transmission was there probably, and it was confirmed when there were rising cases. But intermediate host is there or not, we are still not sure. But bats are probably the reservoir hosts. And the dotted line indicates that we are not sure of. And therapeutic strategies is remdesivir, and it's still clinical trials are going on to confirm whether remdesivir is helpful in uh, as therapeutic drug for this coronavirus. According to clinical manifestations, we classified individuals based on clinical manifestations into five different categories like asymptomatic, mild illness, moderate illness, severe illness, and critical illness. So, asymptomatic individuals, as told you, that individuals who test positive for SARS-CoV-2 with using a virologic test, that is nucleic acid amplification test or an antigen test, but do not have any symptoms that are consistent with COVID-19. Next category is mild illness. So individuals with mild illness have fever, cough, sore throat, malaise, headache, muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of taste and smell. Any symptoms, but they do not have shortness of breath, dyspnea or abnormal chest imaging. So individuals with mild illness do have these symptoms, and if they have these symptoms, they do not come under mild illness, they go beyond that. Next category is moderate illness. Moderate illness is individuals who show evidence of lower respiratory disease during clinical assessment or imaging, and saturated oxygen level is greater than or equal to 94% on room air at sea level. Next category is severe illness. So severe illness, SpO2 is less than 94% on room air at sea level. Then partial pressure of oxygen to fraction of inspired oxygen is less than 300 mmHg. Respiratory frequency is greater than 30 breaths per minute, and lung infiltrates are greater than 50% on CT scan. Next one is critical illness. Individuals who land up with respiratory failure, septic shock, or multiple organ dysfunction, they belong to this category. Recommendations for pharmacologic management of patients with COVID-19 based on disease severity. So based on disease severity, totally 4 groups we have classified: not hospitalized or hospitalized but does not require supplemental oxygen. Like these patients are fine, they're totally fine. They do not require any hospitalization and do not require any supplemental oxygen. So panel's recommendation. Panel is formed from all different based on their clinical experiences who worked with COVID patients. They have formed and told like who are these patients who are like no need to hospitalize or something like that. For them, no need of specific antiviral or no need of any immunosuppressants like dexamethasone. So according to clinical manifestations, we have classified individuals under asymptomatic, mild illness and moderate illness come under this blue arrow mark. Like they do not require any hospitalization or hospitalized but does not require supplemental oxygen. Next category is hospitalized and requires supplemental oxygen but does not require oxygen delivery through a high flow device, non-invasive ventilation, invasive mechanical ventilation, or extracorporeal membranous oxygenation. For these, panel recommends remdesivir 200 mg IV for 1 day, followed by remdesivir 100 mg IV once daily for 4 days, or until hospital discharge, whichever comes first. So AI represents the recommendation is strong, and that Roman number 1 indicates evidence is one or more randomized trial with clinical outcomes and the validated laboratory endpoints. Third one is hospitalized and requires oxygen delivery through a high flow device or non-invasive ventilation. Dexamethasone plus remdesivir as the dose and durations discussed above. So A3 is strong recommendation and 3 is expert opinion. Fourth one is hospitalized and requires invasive mechanical ventilation or ECMO. One that is strong dexamethasone as the dose, evidence, like one or more randomized trials with clinical outcomes and a validated laboratory endpoints. If researchers have found that persistent symptoms or illness even after recovery from acute COVID-19. There have been an increasing number of reports of patients who experience persistent symptoms after recovering from acute COVID-19, like fatigue, joint pain, chest pain, palpitation, shortness of breath, and even worsened quality of life. And some symptoms are even continuously disturbing the patients, like headaches, vision changes, hearing loss, loss of taste or smell, impaired mobility, numbness in extremities, tremors, myalgia, memory loss, cognitive impairment, and mood changes for up to 3 months after diagnosis of COVID-19. Prevention is the best one to manage COVID-19. So in the picture I have shown you a sanitizer. Whenever there is no non-availability of soap and water, better use sanitizer, which is having 70% of alcohol. Most transmissions of severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 are thought to occur through respiratory droplets. And the risk of transmission can be reduced by covering coughs and sneezes and maintaining a distance of at least 6 feet from others. So the mask must fit snugly to the nose and the mouth. And double-layered mask is more protective. Frequent hand washing is also effective in reducing the risk of infection. And coronavirus is being transmitted when a coronavirus infected person talks with you, sings near to you. Thank you.